And then, of course, the next match came on, and this, of course, was another tag team match, boys. And this was the Smackdown Tag Team titles between the challengers, the Street Profits, and Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins up against the Bloodline, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay. And, of course, Montez Ford came out, ribs and all that taped up very heavily after that that massive attack he took on SmackDown 2 nights previous. So, again, not a bad match. I got to be honest, I am not a Street Profits fan. I don't know what it is. I can't get into them. But I actually thought this was actually quite good. Your thought? Yeah?
Well, see, with this, like, I'm going to push this point across.
Yeah.
The Usos are a great tag team. No denying that.
Yes.
But you've had, and I know I probably should be going into this, but you've had Jimmy Uso had a couple of run-ins with the law.
Yes.
And yet they're tag champions.
I think the story around the whole Bloodline and Reigns and all that was probably too big to have to break it all for that. I mean, not that I excuse what he did, not that I condone what he did, or anything like that. And he's had priors on the drink driving and the whole bit. But I think they'd invested so much in this particular storyline, and it's working, which is the other thing. It'd be hard to then just dismantle it all.
Yeah, I see that, but it's like the way I see it is that you're rewarding a criminal.
No, Vince will be rewarding what's working. I remember a quote from Vince years and years ago, and it always stuck in my head, not only in wrestling, but in my business life and all of that sort of thing. He used to always say, if that guy will put bums on seats, I don't care what I think about him, I'm booking him. It's all about bums on seats. And as a promoter or a former promoter, and you too, of course, Mick, having promoted, it is all about bums on seats, because that's either survival or you're washed up and finished as a promoter, as a federation, whatever. And that's why I think they've probably invested so much in it. It would be hard. I don't think you could have done it with just Jay, because Jay can't be tag champs on his own, and you can't bring someone else in, unless, of course, they brought in one of the other brothers or cousins, that works on the indie circuit. But, they got to build them up. You can't just bring them in and suddenly make him a champ.
Yeah, I mean, you could always put him under a mask and call him like a Jimmy Jack Uso.
Well, it wouldn't surprise, would it? It wouldn't surprise, would it? But, yeah, look, I get your point, and I don't disagree at all, Anthony, but the match itself, the Street Profits dominated early. The Usos came back and obviously started attacking the ribs of Montez and ripping off the bandages and the tape and all that. But I liked it. I thought there was it wasn't too over the top, but it was good tag team wrestling to try and isolate Uso, Ford, who's injured, try and cut the ring in half, kick Dawkins out. And I didn't mind it.
Well, I'm going to say this right now, Pete, is I'm going to disagree with you on the Street Profits.
Okay.
I actually quite like them.
Yeah.
I think the packaging is terrible. I think that white man can't jump uniforms are just terrible, right? I was actually saying to Anthony while we were watching it, I said to him, these guys with this current political atmosphere now, is they should be jumping on that Black Lives Matter idea, coming out being black and proud, not looking like goofs. Whoever's booking them, they got two very big, very talented, I'll get it out, African-American guys, right? Even the bigger of the two, Dawkins, he moves like a gazelle for a guy of his size, right? And then you got Montel
5 and 265, but he don't, yeah.
he moves like a gazelle, right? You've got two very athletic guys, and I just think they're branded wrong. Honestly, they've just branded terribly, and if they fix that branding, they'll be very good.
Maybe. I just can't warm to them, and I don't understand that. I'm older than both of you. I don't get what is this, and we want the smoke.
It's all the writing is written by Ice Cube. It's like out of a Friday movie. That's actually hurts me. That actually upsets me the most about some of the African American athletes they have on their program, and you hear them talk, and they sound like people that are out of the barbershop or Friday movies that Ice Cube's written with that, that urban badass talking. Don't just. I mean, I see these two guys as Doom. I really do. You remember Doom? With Butch Reed, and I see them as Doom, mate. I see them as a very good tag team. They're going to come in there and just beat the piss out of you, and they got them branded, and that's what's happening with the WWE anyway. We can get off track with that. The Usos, they'd have to be the best tag team in WWE.
They're good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not the best in the world. They're not FTR, but they are definitely in the WWE the premier tag team, and they're typical Islanders, which whatever they do in a wrestling ring looks good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a natural thing all Islanders have. They have that ability that inside a wrestling ring they can make anything look good. I liked the match. I liked it.
Oh, yeah, I did.
I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was two great tag teams. I liked the way the storyline blended from the show with the bad ribs, and they worked that into the match. And that was why he lost, because of the rib injury.
Yeah.
Right? I liked the way that flowed through. And I hope to see more out of the Street Profits, but please rebrand them. Do something else with them. I'm thinking, what a waste. At this point in time, they're mid-card, wasted talent. You can do so much more with them.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, but and a little bit to Anthony's point. Is it me being ultra picky, or does Jimmy Uso look a bit off? Jay looks really, really sharp and focused. Jimmy looks a bit off to me. Or did you not notice anything like that? I thought he wasn't sloppy or anything, but he wasn't sharp. And I've thought that the last couple of matches.
The whole card at times wasn't sharp.
No.
That night, there was a few people that were off.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, he was out of the ring for over a year. I mean, but he's been back a while, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe just me being me.
Probably Jay is probably the better worker than Jimmy.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
out of the two, so there's a little bit of that, and also too, who knows? Who knows what's happening behind the scenes? I mean, how many times have we worked with guys and they're behind the scenes? They've been absolute wrecks.
Yeah,
and in the ring they've been brilliant. So
true.
Who knows? I couldn't tell you.
No, fair enough. I gave this 7 out of 10 as well.
6.5. I gave.
Uh-huh.
6.5. I was come home from work and I must have been a bit hard on all the matches. I went 6.5 on that, but not that was a bad match. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I'd like to see them do something more with the Street Profits. I think you're just wasting two great guys. They'll end up going somewhere else and making money. So I think Vince, hopefully somebody at WWE goes, let's do something with these guys,
What about you, young Anthony?
4.5.
Again? Gee, you were grumpy.
Look, doing this has changed the way I've seen stuff. But anyway, with the Profits, it's more that they don't need to be in the title picture. They held the belts for, what was it, 300 plus days?
Yeah, yes. I think it was about 330 odd or 3.
Yeah, so they don't need to be in the title picture.
Mm-hmm.
Who else, Anthony?
You've got you've got tag teams on Raw that, you know, you've got
Arcade Bro.
title for title, possibly, maybe. But
Serious?
no.
Rude and Ziggler, you got the
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah, Rude and Ziggler. Yeah,
Rude and
fair enough.
Ziggler.
Yeah.
two great workers that have
Yeah, they did definitely deserve the belts. Those two. Yeah.
they get nothing.
Yeah, I don't know who they're pissed off there. I don't know. Probably two of them.
What's the ones who come out like the goodness gracious me, you shouldn't do podcasts when you've had 12 hours at work. The ones that come out and they look like the I've got
The Barbarians.
Yeah,
Vikings. Well,
Vikings, Viking Raiders and that. I mean, I actually don't mind them as a team.
But that's why they're not in the title picture, because we can't remember who they are.
No, I could. Well, you know,
Even I'm having trouble.
Dementia might be sitting in early here.
Look, I think that you're right. Yeah, Anthony, you're right. You know, Street Profits. I think that at the moment they're a remarkable name.
They're a bit like New Day. Yeah, they don't really need the titles to be popular and all of that sort of stuff.
I would turn these two guys heel. Power to the people. And you'll end up becoming face. They'll end up becoming popular in the current climate, you know, political climate. The biggest problem with WWE is they're not in tune with the current climate, political climate. So everything they're doing is still from the 1990s. Almost the time this show sometimes can remind me of an early 1990s WCW show. With some of the characters that come up. You know, remember the Z-Man and stuff? Oh, my God. Right? And WWE at the moment reminded me of that show because they're just throwing all these things out, you know, that are like 10 years past or 20 years past their freaking date. But there's nobody there in tune with the current society. So this is now we're getting pretty deep. We're not meant to get this deep. It's supposed to be extreme. But I definitely, you got a good point, Anthony, about that when you mentioned especially Rude and Ziggler.
Yeah, they've got to do something with them, surely.
Jesus, you could build the whole promotion around each one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, both former world champions, both gifted, they look the part. Yeah, they're okay. They can work. I mean, I don't see anything against them.
They're probably at their prime too. They're in their 30s.
Yeah.
So they're smart now. Yeah. They'd have to be both in their late 30s now.
Late 30s, easily.
Yeah, but they're both smart now. They both understand the business. They understand how to work. Yeah. I don't get that. I mean, like I said, the young guys, you know, it's the Street Profits. Great, and you could repackage them, market them, put a manager with them, you know. But those two guys would be fantastic with MVP.
Yes.
And you militarize them, they would be great. They would be a good heel tag team. You know, the Hurt business?
Yeah.
Put them in the Hurt business and you put them in black like Doom. You know? No, not too fancy, just two badass ass kickers. You've got another 2 or 3 years out of that tag team without a problem. And it'd be very successful.